Hey everybody, I'm back. It's Scott Gold, joining you today from bed. I never wanted to be one of those people that does a video saying, "Oh my God, I'm so sick," but oh my God, I'm so sick. I'm feeling a little bit better at the moment. I am on a lot of medication, so I wanted to just do this video just to kind of give you an update in case you don't see me around for a little bit. And also to just sort of share what's been going on with this sort of what's been sort of a mystery illness that's lasted since Monday, and sort of in case anybody else experiences these sort of symptoms, maybe it will help someone out there. So on Monday, I saw my first doctor. I've had 3 doctors I've seen this week, and I've had 2 different diagnoses. So I saw my doctor that's my regular family doctor because I was just going for a regular uh, medication check, 6-month type of checkup. And it's very hard to get in to see this doctor. He has so many patients that unless you have a scheduled appointment for a 6-month or a 1 year out, if you call with any sort of an issue, you can basically never get in to see him, which really makes me question why you would have that many patients if you can't serve the ones that you have already. But at any rate, it's always very quick when you go in to see this doctor because he has so much going on. So I try not to bring up things that, you know, don't seem particularly important. Now, that morning I had had some pain in my head, and it was in the back of my head, and I was a little bit concerned just because it was unusual, but I thought, maybe this is what a migraine feels like. I've never had a migraine, so I know people have said, they sometimes get them in the back of their heads. So I mentioned it, and he just didn't seem particularly concerned, just said, take some Advil or Tylenol, I'm sure it'll go away. And, I didn't proceed to question it any further. It wasn't uh, particularly bad at the time. So I went to work, um, and throughout the day, it really was pretty much no sooner than I left the office that I started having these really um, like excruciating jabs of pain through the side of my head. And it had begun in this one area in the back of my head, and it sort of progressed throughout the day to be my earlobe. But I could touch my earlobe and it wouldn't hurt, but I would get these jolts of pain um, between these 2 areas out of nowhere. And it was happening with more frequency, to the point where it was every, 20 seconds, you would get to this jab of pain. Well, that's not normal. So I'm alarmed, but don't really know what to do about that. So I go home after work and I figure, I'm just going to take some Tylenol, go to bed right away and try to get a really good night's sleep. And hopefully I'm just going to feel better. Well, throughout the night, I really got almost no sleep because I would just be getting these constant shocks of pain. And I'm continuing to experience them now. But again, I didn't particularly know what to do about it. So, I figured carry on and see how it goes, sort of a thing. So that night, throughout the day, it was the same thing. That night, it was the same thing. The only thing that began to help was at night, I put some heat on it just with like a blow dryer, and that would sort of help with the pain, but it felt like it was nerve pain. And I thought, maybe I had slept on my neck in some way, and it was something with a pulled muscle or a nerve or something like that. So after several nights of no sleep, I was really getting concerned. So I called to try to get an appointment with my doctor, and of course there was no appointments whatsoever. They they wouldn't see me. So I said, "Is there any doctor that can see me?" Well, no, there isn't. Um, I, s- I- I said, "Well, can you at least check with the doctor and see maybe if you ask him?" Well, we'll ask, we'll let you know and everything. So I'm getting nowhere. So I decide finally, you know what? Something's wrong here. This is not normal. You don't just have agonizing shooting pains through your head for no reason. I want this checked out. So I go to the urgent care, which is part of the one of the hospitals. I've been there over the years a few times, and it was a pretty good experience. So I go there, and the doctor was, pretty interested at least in what I was experiencing, and he examined me. There really wasn't anything to see, though. There was no visible signs of anything on my skin, on my head. It was really just me describing these shocks of pain. So he said, "Well, there's a little bit of redness within your hair." He thought it was cellulitis, which I looked up later, which is like a bacterial infection, I guess, of like the hair follicles. Um, it's something that would happen due to like a break in the skin, or, some entry point for bacteria, which I really didn't have. So I was kind of confused with that diagnosis. And I also didn't think that that would be something that would cause, you know, shocks of pain. But, you have to kind of trust the process. So everyone that I had told said, "Are you sure?" And I don't know, but that's what the doctor said. I mean, I guess I have to try to trust the process. So he gave me antibiotics, and I went right home, didn't go to work, and I started on the medication, and it was a 3 time a day. So by that night, I'd taken 2 dosages. I also had a hydrocodone prescription. Um, that he had given me for a few of those, because I did explain that it was so intensely painful. That wasn't really helping at all. I was up all night long, and I was up like every 20 minutes wandering around the house, like in so much pain. And at one point, I look in the mirror, the whole side of my head is swollen. And now I'm really panicked because I'm thinking, after a couple of doses of antibiotic, you should, if not yet getting any better, you shouldn't be getting worse. And then I noticed my ear was like clogged, like the hearing was decreased in my ear. So swelling and some loss of hearing. Uh, this isn't good. I call up the doctor's office in the morning, the regular, family doctor, and I explain to the receptionist, because they don't let you talk to anybody, what's going on. And, "Oh, no, we just don't have any appointments. Sorry, no, we can't help you." I said, "Well, I want to talk to a nurse, because I want to know, here's this diagnosis that I was given, here's this medication that I was given. My symptoms are now getting worse. Should I just go to the emergency room?" "Well, I guess," she says, "I can get off my chair and look for, someone that can talk to you." "Oh, thank you. Only when you get really demanding." So this nurse comes on, and I was very grateful that she was, willing to talk to me, but she had the lowest command of the English language of any medical professional I've ever encountered. Bless her heart, but it was absolutely shocking that she was a nurse. What should have been a 5-minute conversation to address, you know, the background of this case took 25 minutes, and it was all due to language barrier. She couldn't understand, the word cellulitis. I spelled it. Spoke it very slowly. I spelled it 3 times. It was like, I've never had this, or, anything, but I was familiar with the term. You would think a nurse would have some understanding, the medication she never heard of. Um, it was really strange. So her big advice was, "Well, if it gets any worse, call 911." Okay, thanks a lot. But she says, well, maybe there's another doctor at another practice that's associated with ours, but isn't part of ours. And, there's a doctor there. Maybe they can see you today. And if not, there's another doctor. Maybe they could see you on Saturday. And it's like, is it safe to wait until Saturday at this point with excruciating pain in my head and swelling? Okay, so she's going to transfer me to scheduling, and I had said to her, I said, I don't care if it's not my doctor. There's 20 doctors in the practice, any doctor, it's a family medical practice. Like, I don't care. I just want a doctor to see me. Or would you want a telemed appointment? Not really, because I want somebody to look in my ear. I want someone to physically look at me. You know, I really want to see someone. So, um, they put me to scheduling, and they give me an appointment at 11 o'clock that day for some other doctor and some other practice. Don't care. Great. Wonderful. So I go there, and when I walk into the office building, there's a board, a monitor there, and it lists all of the doctors that have suites in this building and their suite number and their specialty. Why is it that I look at this doctor and it says his specialty is gynecology? And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This bonehead nurse who doesn't know her ass from her elbow did not really just put me an appointment with a gynecologist. I know I said any doctor, but you couldn't be that foolish, right? Oh my God, and it hurts just laughing about it. But if you don't laugh, you're gonna cry. So now I'm like, I can't go up there. I can't even go in there. Like, I'm so embarrassed. What am I gonna tell these people? That this dingbat nurse put a man to a gynecology so I'm like, I'm just gonna go up there and look. And all of the suites have like glass so you can see in. And I go up there, and there's men sitting in the waiting room, not young men like they're waiting for wives or, that are being, at checkups or whatever. They're older men, they're alone. There's also women, older women, no pregnant women. So I'm like, maybe I don't know, maybe there was some mistake. Maybe that was wrong on there. At any rate, if this person is a gynecologist, this suite is shared by apparently other doctors, so it's not going to look weird. Let me go in there and say who I am, that I'm here for an appointment, and see what they say. They didn't bat an eye, so I don't know. If he's a family doctor that also specializes in gynecology, I don't know. But at this point, if they're going to see me, fine. If I have to get into stirrups, no, I'm just kidding. so, so I sit down in the waiting room, and there was probably like 8 or 9 people waiting. Everyone gets seen before me, and I had shown up, early in case there were papers I needed to fill out or whatever. And then people start coming in after me, and they're all being seen, and they're not only arriving, but they're leaving, and I'm still sitting. And I'm thinking, I know I'm not important to them because I'm not their patient, but you did agree to receive kind of an emergency case. And I was clearly the sickest person in there. I'm in so much pain, um, with my eyes closed and everything. I'm just throbbing. And, these people are probably here for, med checks and yearly physicals and things like that. And I was like, couldn't you just please see me? So this doctor they finally call me back, and I've already been in the waiting room for over 2 hours. And then I hear the doctor outside the door, and he's just interrupted by a call. I hear him on the call. Then he says he's going to go document. So I'm waiting for another 30 minutes. So finally he comes in, and he asked me what I was here for. I had the paperwork from the urgent care. I said, this is what I was diagnosed with. These are the medications that I was given. My symptoms have, developed further. I'm really alarmed because, this is my head. I mean, Shouldn't there be some sort of imaging that's done? Um, do you think that this is the correct diagnosis? I mean, wouldn't with a couple of dosages of antibiotic, I at least not be getting any worse? Shouldn't be getting any worse. So then some medical staff comes into the office and says, "Oh, doctor, you have a phone call." So he just leaves and leaves me sitting there for another 30 minutes. So he comes back and we talk some more. And I said, would you please look? Because, what is with this swelling? And he's looking and he says, well, okay, you have shingles. Shingles. Okay. So what do I know about shingle? Well, that's from the chicken pox that lies dormant in your system. That's about all I know about it. And he says, well, did you have chicken pox? I said, yes, twice when I was a child. Okay, well, that sounds like what it is because, it's only along this central area, and shingles is a nerve pain that will only affect you in one area of your body. And, you know, he, I don't have any lesions, I don't have any, bumps other than the swelling. And I said, well, okay, what do we do about it? Well, we put you on a medication, and this is very early on in this illness. So the hope is that we can sort of fend off any worsening of this illness. And you need to take this medication 3 times a day. You need to stop taking the antibiotic because it's not a bacterial infection. It's not going to help you at all. We need to put you on this viral, medication. And yeah, you're going to be in a lot of pain. I said, well, okay, do I need to stop working? He says, oh yeah, you're going to feel terrible. You're going to just, you're going to be in no shape for working. Okay. Yeah, you're going to be basically in excruciating pain, and hopefully you're not going to develop the other skin symptoms, um, if we get you on this soon enough. So I I start taking that immediately, and I'm still with the swelling. Um, Luckily, I haven't developed any further, symptoms in terms of any sort of lesions or anything like that. A lot of pain, a lot of shooting pain. I'm on the hydrocodone right now, so that's helping, which I figure let me do this video while I'm feeling okay at the moment. But, just getting up, turning over, it's always, shocks of pain. And I'm having them throughout this time that I'm talking to you. I'm just trying not to show it. But so we'll see what happens. I'm supposed to take it for 10 days and then follow up with my doctor and see where we're at. It sort of sounds like it can vary from person to person, what they experience, how severe, I guess. So fingers crossed that, I'm on the medication and it's going to just at least not get any worse. My ear is completely clogged up. I'm swollen, which is mostly now down in my beard area. Very weird, very strange, very painful. It just knocks you out, All I've been doing is sleeping. So I just kind of wanted to share this experience. And, if you ever are experiencing this sort of intense nerve pain, and I guess it could be anywhere in your body. For me, it was in my head. Consider that it could be shingles. And, if you have the ability, if you have the means, I would highly recommend getting the shingles vaccine. Now, that was something that I had looked into probably about 4 years ago. When I was at a doctor's appointment, there were signs up all around the office, ask about the shingles vaccine. So I asked, and his response to me at that point was, well, you're too young for that. It really isn't something that normally affects younger people. and it wouldn't be something that's going to be covered by your insurance. So it would more than likely be out of pocket. And I says, okay, well, well, it can be hundreds and hundreds of dollars or something. I was like, okay. And he's like, but I just don't think that you need to have it right now. So I was willing to pay for it, obviously, if certainly if I'd ever known that I would be experiencing this. But um, even my parent, because I said, well, at what age do you recommend getting this? And he said, in your 60s. So even my parents, at that point, were trying to get the vaccine, and even their insurance wouldn't pay for it at that time, even though they were in their 60s. So they just, paid for it. But despite my best intentions of trying to be proactive and look out for my health, the doctor talked me out of getting it. So just know that it's something that can strike you. I mean, I'm in my early 40s, and here I am. And it wasn't even something that was on the forefront of my mind. I don't even know if it would have been in the forefront of the doctor's mind. However, he did say to me, well, part of the reason why I'm diagnosing this as shingles is because I've had recently several other patients in your age category who have had this. So it wasn't out of the realm of possibilities for him. And then just putting together the symptoms and how it was contained to one very generalized area, the type of pain, that it was like nerve pain. It sort of helped him to arrive at that diagnosis. So for now, I'm just taking it easy. I'm pretty much having no energy whatsoever. I've been sleeping uh, like all night as much as I can around the pain, getting up and taking pain medication as soon as I can. And, all day I've just been sleeping on and off. And I hope everyone out there just takes this as a warning. And like I said, if if you have the means to get the vaccine, I would recommend it so that you don't have to go through this because, it's definitely very painful and very worrisome when you don't know what's going on. So, anyways, have a great weekend, everyone, and hopefully I'll be up and around and back to making videos soon. So that's all for now.